Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we're going to be reviewing a Jeep Gladiator JL370. This is AEV's take on the Gladiator. It's pretty cool. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and link you to the Large Miller Jeep here in Sandy for giving me some time with this Gladiator. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a 3.6-liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 285 horsepower and then 260 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So you notice that this is built off of the Rubicon, hence the vents on the hood, and it's a Rubicon that has the upgraded lights at that, which is something you want. Helps out with visibility quite a bit. And speaking of lights, AEV adds a couple of pods here on the front end. We also have a Warn winch, pretty heavy duty setup right here, and then you still have the fog lights there as well. And I love this bumper from AEV. It looks really cool, especially with the hoop and everything. It just gives us a much more aggressive appearance with the front end. And also part of the cool thing with the front end, seeing these shocks right there, I think that's fun. Now around the side here, we've got 37s wrapped around 17-inch wheels, hence the JL370. It's for 37-inch tall tires. And these are cool looking wheels, if you ask me. And then you guys can see here, pretty aggressive tread pattern. And then you have shocks that are specifically tuned. They're made by Bilstein, but they're tuned for this rig. And they do have a steering stabilizer. That whole setup is kind of hard. Let me see if I can get under here so you can see a little bit more of the setup here. But yeah, pretty cool. And then we of course have the AEV badge here, there on the side. Rock rail protection, that's stock with these Rubicons. And then you do have those Bilstein shocks in the back as well, if you're wondering. Pretty hardcore setup. And here's your full side profile. Look how cool that looks. Now out back, you guys can see the custom bumper here, which looks cool. Look at the recovery points there as well. AEV with it. And then you got the big old spare on the back, just like a Prospector XL. Apparently I can't talk. And then notice they wrapped that. But let me know what you think about the overall look here of this Gladiator. And then this leads us inside. So this is kind of like, it looks like a middle of the line Gladiator, so you've got like soft touch here. They did change out the seats. See AEV there. Perforated all down the center. Pretty cool looking. And then you also got AEV in the gauge cluster. Look at that. It'll focus. Hocus pocus! There we go. It's pretty cool looking. And then you can see the stuff with the new Gladiator. You got the bigger screen and everything. Got the cool trim on the dash. Now, like I said, this is built off of a Rubicon, so we've got a 2-speed transfer case, front and rear locking diffs. We have a sway bar disconnect, all the off-road stuff that you could want. But pretty cool setup inside. So here's our equipment list with this. So 60,000. So that's kind of like not like a base model Rubicon, but it's kind of more entry level. But we've got quite a bit that has been upgraded to this. So you guys can see the extra skid plates, which I didn't really go over that, but there are extra skid plates. They upgrade the axle ratio as well, you know, all the right stuff. And then this one has some more options on top of that. So you can see you've got the shock upgrade. It comes with this particular one and with the winch and all that. But anyways, total MSRP after all options and everything, $86,014. And let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before you set off. Just put over the hood, both mirrors. And that tire does get in the way. That tire does get in the way. But let's see how this drives. I recently drove a lifted Rubicon Gladiator. I know a lot of you watched that video. And so I wanted to review another one because a lot of people said, hey, I hope this thing's re-geared, I hope this and I hope that. And that one was just basically lifted with 37s. It had what I called the catalog build. So basically had the Jeep lift and all that has Fox shocks. It's a good build. But it's like your basic lifted build. It's still cool. But let's see how this performs compared. I will say, having all-terrain instead of mud terrains like the other one had, this does have less tire noise. Now, the thing that I've discovered about Bilstein shocks is they are firm, but they can take an impact. So, you know, with some other shocks like Fox shocks, they'll sometimes be a little bit more comfortable over the bumps and all of that. And they can take a pretty big impact, but these Bilsteins, it seems like they can just take bigger forces from what I've seen. I've looked at some of the charts in terms of how much the shocks can handle. It's pretty crazy what some of these Bilsteins can handle. It's pretty crazy. But speaking of handling, yeah, this is a lot sharper. Even though it has 37s, and it's lifted, so it sits higher, it still handles really well. So it almost handles better than stock. Let me lean the chair back a little bit more. I feel like the GoPro view wasn't all that good. Yeah, and being the V6 version, it's got a very light front end. The diesels, they aren't heavy, but they kind of feel a little bit heavier at the front end. I miss the diesel though, I will say that. This V6 has to put in quite a bit of work. Let's all hope that they bring the Hurricane over to the Gladiator soon. Continue along in the Gladiator here. Smooth. We'll continue to go around to get another acceleration for you guys. Yeah, this is nice with how this drives. You know, a few years ago, I kind of liked the squishier feel. I like this firmer feel now, because it's like it handles well and it just feels tough and rugged. Like my perspective is, as long as the vehicle can take the impacts, as long as the wheels aren't going to fall off when I go over big bumps, that's what I care about. This ain't bad. Like I said, this V6 does have to work though. It's gotta put in some work. Get one last acceleration. I really do think this would be better with the diesel, or that new Hurricane would be such a good powertrain with this. Yeah, I mean, this is V6 is reliable. That's the thing you got going for it. It's reliable, but boy, does it feel a little bit lackluster in the power department. So, all in all, this is a cool build. I think it looks great. I think it drives well, and yeah, I think the only thing is it's not on the AEV. The AEV does a great job. It's on the Jeep side of things. Jeep needs to put a real powertrain in the Gladiator. Yeah, you heard me. Give us a real engine with some real power. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about the AEV version of the Gladiator. But I think it looks cool and it's functional.